Welcome to today's mobility session. Let's go ahead and get started on the ground. We're going to be seated to start with today. About 10 minutes of movement through the spine, through the body, you know the drill. Let's start off with a shin box 90-90 stance. One hand by the left knee, one hand by the left foot. You're going to lengthen that upper torso, bring your chest down to the shin and wave up. Thinking about moving through one vertebrae at a time. For 3, 2, last one. Hang out at the bottom. Go ahead and shift your weight side to side. Feel that nice stretch through the left hip. For 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Go ahead and move your hands on the outside, to the left, on the outside of the left thigh. Let me shift over a little bit here for you. On the left thigh, hands on the outside, bring the chest down to the ground and wave up. A little bit more of a rotation and a stretch through the right side of the body. For 3, 2, and 1. Dropping down onto the left elbow, stacking the left shoulder over the left elbow. With the right elbow, you're going to go ahead and twist and then open up to the ceiling. Twist, thread the right hand underneath that left armpit and opening up. For 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Go ahead and come on up. Hands behind the back. Windshield wiper your knees and your shins from one side to the other. A couple times here. Should feel pretty good. Let's go ahead and shift to the other side. Right hand by the right knee. Left hand by the right foot, lengthen the upper torso, chest to ground or chest to shin, waving up. For 3, 2, last one, hang out at the bottom, shifting your weight side to side. This one always feels great. I love starting the day off with this one. 2, and 1. Good. Let's go ahead and move the hands to the outside of the thigh. Both hands on the right, chest to ground, waving up. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and drop your right hand down onto the elbow. Make sure your shoulders stacked over the elbow. Make sure your right shoulder is in line with the hip, in line with that back knee. If that back knee is too far forward, you're not going to feel much of a stretch through that left knee, through the left hip. So go ahead and slide that left knee back so it's in line with the shoulder. Let's go ahead and thread that left hand underneath the armpit and open up to the ceiling. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Come on up. Hands behind the back. Windshield wiper a couple times here. Good. Let's go ahead and hang out here. Going into a crab. Fingertips pointed back. Dig the heels into the ground. Roll the shoulders down and back and extend through the hips, tracking the knees over the toes. Pause for a second. Bring it back down. Feel that nice stretch through the shoulders. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Go ahead and flip over into a tabletop, going into our regular cat-cows, moving through the spine. For 3, 2, and 1. Sit the hips back, child's pose, spinal wave forward into cobra. Tuck the chin, sit back, child's pose. For 3, 2, and 1. Beauty. Coming back into tabletop. Let's go ahead and bring that left foot forward on the outside of both hands. Tuck that right toe in, lift the back knee off the ground, nice and strong through that right leg as we drive the left knee over the toe, opening up, creating a couple circles here. Should feel a nice stretch through the groin, through the inner thighs. For 3, 2, track that knee over the toe. Let's drive that left elbow down to the ground, twist and reach. Lengthen your fingertips up to the ceiling. For 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Go ahead and switch sides. Bring that right foot forward on the outside of both hands. Before you draw those circles, make sure you tuck that left toe in, lift that left knee off the ground, driving the circles. Right knee over the toe. When you're ready, let's bring that right elbow down, twist and reach. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Bring it back. Good. Let's go ahead and switch to the side, going into a frog position. Knees nice and wide apart. Toes pointed out to the side. Shifting your weight forward and back. You get in that nice stretch through the inner thighs. Meeting your body where it's at here. If it feels like it's too much of a stretch, bring those knees back in together. Good. After your next breath, go ahead and walk your hands to the right, internal rotation of the left hip. Bring it back down. Left hands to the left, internal rotation of the right. Alternating sides here. Don't worry about speed. I want you to think about rotating through the hip joint. Thinking of the ball and the socket. For 3, 2, and 1. Good. Coming back. Beautiful. Let's go into a half kneeling position. We're going to start to get towards the upper body. So left foot forward, right foot back. I'm going to go over here. Okay, hands behind the head. Go ahead and shift side to side here, rotating left and right. Try to keep your hips, your knees, and your ankles exactly where they are. For 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now rotating towards the right, so your hips are opened up here. I want you to just explore, maybe tilting the right elbow towards the back foot, left elbow towards the front knee. We're simply flossing and creating some movement through the spine, both in a frontal plane and a lateral plane. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Just noticing how your body feels. Good, and when you're ready, let's go ahead and switch sides. Starting off with left and right. And then lateral line, so front and back. For 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's come into this tall kneeling position. We're going to drive those arms overhead, bicep to the ear. Turn the palm out to the side, big circle back. Pushing the rib cage down, squeeze the bum. Hips nice and strong and secure. Only movement coming through the shoulders. For 3, 2, and 1. Switching directions. Pinky back, big circle forwards. For 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's warm up the quads and the front of the knees a little bit here, and a lot of core. Okay, so in this tall kneeling position, you're going to squeeze the bum. You can cross the hands right by your chest or simply have them to the side of your body. Knees about hip width apart. You're going to engage your quads, engage your glutes and your core, and lean back as far as you feel comfortable. And then bringing yourself back into this tall kneeling position. Let's go 2 more here, team. Beautiful. 1 more. And 1. Beautiful. Let's come on up to standing. Shake it out. Awesome. Last one here. Let's go into a little hip rotation. Okay. Right knee up to the hip. Open up the hips. Internal rotation. So driving that right knee down to the ground as you lift up that right heel. Okay. You might feel a little cramp through that right glute, and that's okay. Go ahead and kick that right heel back into a single leg deadlift. Right hand down to the ground and back up to standing. putting your feet down onto the ground if you need to. But if you're comfortable with this, trying to keep that right foot off the ground. Working on some single leg stability, single leg balance on the left. Going for about 5 on each side here. Good, and after your next one, shake it out. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Do this from the front, left knee up to the hip, open up. Try to get that heel and the knee in line as you kick the heel back. Single leg deadlift, back up to standing. If the balance proves to be a challenge here, don't worry. Following our program this month, working on some ankle stability, ankle mobility, and stability in general. And the more we do this, the more you'll find it gets a little bit easier time and time again. We got 2 more on this side. For 2. Last one. Good. One more exercise before we get going with our workout here. Come down into a downward dog. Okay. Quite familiar with a downward dog. 2 hands, 2 feet. Plank, downward dog, toe tap, plank, downward dog, toe tap. You've done that one before. I know you have. This time, we're going to take away 1 point of contact. Okay, so starting off in that nice high plank position, your feet can be a little bit wider, hands a little closer together because this is really going to challenge that core stability. Coming up in that high plank, go ahead and bring the back of the right hand onto your low back. Okay, notice how taking away 1 point of contact already challenges the core stability. If you are twisting all the way like this, okay, one hip higher than the other, then go ahead and do the downward dog or plank, downward dog, toe tap, the regular one we're doing. If you're able to stabilize and keep those hips square to the ground from this 3-point downward dog, hips up to the ceiling, strengthening that left shoulder. Okay, back to that plank, downward dog, plank, downward dog. No toe taps here because you've got no hands. For 3, 2, good, and 1. Good, come down to the ground, shake it out. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Whew, always easier said than done there on that one. Okay, opposite hand, left hand. Right on that low back, nice strong core, hips up, stabilize. Pay attention and notice whether one side seems a little easier than the other. For me, this side seems a little easier, which means that my left hip is easier or is stronger to stabilize. For 2, good, and 1. Just went for about 5 per side there. Maybe you're doing 3 per side before your wrist starts to be a little bit sore or before your form starts to break down. Meet your body where it's at, as always. Okay, and then build up from there. Great little warm up. Let's get to work. Have fun, get strong, and I'll see you next time.